call this meeting, I'd like to call this meeting of the Villa Park Board of Trustees to order. This is December 4th at 7 p.m. Clerk Kornecki, please call the roll.
Trustee Aiello, Trustee Silella,
Here.
Trustee Cazone, Trustee Case,
Here.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Here.
President Bolfus.
Yes, we all stand for the pledge, and after the pledge, please remain standing for a short prayer by Trustee Wagner. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee, please remain standing for a short prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is public comment on agenda items. Clerk Kornecki, do we have anybody who wants to make comments on agenda
No,
items?
I have no participants.
Okay, we'll give you one more chance. If anybody wants to make any comments on anything that's on our regular agenda, non-agenda items will come later on in the meeting. Okay. And then we'll move on to any amendments to the agenda. Do we have any amendments to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, I will go turn this over to Community Pride Commission. Carol Davis, for your Spirit and Halloween Awards.
Thank you. The Villa Park Spirit Award is presented to those who have served Villa Park with extraordinary community spirit through volunteer work and actions of goodwill that reflect our community values. The UCP Seguin Climb is an organization of adult volunteers with developmental disabilities. Deb Merritt is their coordinator. They have presented a model for all of us in improving our village, helping others through their hard work, their kindness, and their appreciation of others in our community. Deb, can you come up, please? Thank you. Deb Mayer is the coordinator of the Villa Park program, and she is going to give the award out to some of the Villa Parkers who have been very active in this. They have watered and deadheaded. They've taken care of the plants for the Chamber of Commerce and the other businesses on Park Boulevard. They've made cards at Trinity Lutheran for homeless veterans. They've weeded playgrounds and parking lots. They've swept floors, sorted newspapers, taken out garbage, and they've done volunteer work at the Bird Adoption Center. So we'd like to thank all of them for making Villa Park a great place to live through their spirit as well as their work. We thank them. So I'm going to give this to you with our thanks. And now we have 3 members who are here. We'd like for them to stand up. Andrea Camp, Jason Harlan, and David Burke.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sheet over there is an
Thank you.
amendment of,
So we thank you all for your service.
I don't understand if we're going into old session for it, or we're going to be able to do it here.
I know the businesses along Park Avenue and of Chamber really appreciate the help they've got there, and the residents have noticed it too. So, really appreciate the
I'd like to
work there.
thank the Village of Villa Park and all the business owners for the warm welcome that you've given us in the community. Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you again. first award, the first Halloween award I'm going to give is to to Michelle and Omar Amin at 742 South Princeton Avenue. And this award was given, this was given to their son, Mason Amin, directly. So their son is going to be the award winner. He was nominated by a member of the community, one of their neighbors, who said, "Here is the story of Mason Amin, age 7. He was obsessed with decorating his family home. He bugged and bugged his dad to put up lights and then a giant spider web followed by a giant spider. He is so proud of the moving ghost lights. To him, that just adds the final touch of spookiness. Mason helped put out all the lights with his dad. He then gathered up his siblings and neighborhoods to help spread out the giant spider web. He is so proud of his light display that most days he turns the lights on right after he gets home from school. Mason is a sweet kid who is always happy to help his friends, family, and neighbors with anything at all. The driving force behind the decorations was Mason, and he takes ownership of them. So I nominate Mason Amin. So we're going to give this to The next award goes to Eve Corbus Amphibolus, and thank you. I really do thank you. Eve, would you like to come up and present it for your family? The family is actually Pavlos, Eve, and Giorgio Olimpa.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, I'll let you
No,
pronounce
I
it.
thought you could do it.
Alimpalis?
Alan Pellis, yeah.
Alimpalis.
Those Greek names.
Okay, very good. And she lives at 314 South Oakland. Eve has always celebrated the holidays by decorating her house. Her children are grown, but now the neighborhood children come over and ask if they can help her. They all enjoy these decorations together. Eve has told me about how she loves to drive around the village and look at all the decorations. So she feels that it's part of her job to add to it by doing her own. She did a beautiful job, and we thank you very much, as well as the rest of your family. Joy Black at 536 South Villa did a wonderful job. Is Joy here today? We will have to give that, again, when we were talking to people about why they do the Halloween decorations, they really just love doing it for the children. For them, this is an act for the community, and they love to see the children get excited and add that little bit of scariness to it. Jennifer and Mike Travnik of 136 East Sunset also had a beautiful display, Halloween display. Are they here today? Yes, you are. Why don't you come right up? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You added a lot. That was a
Yes.
beautiful, beautiful display.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Our next awards will be for the holiday decorations, so be sure to let us know if you see any particularly beautiful display. There are many of them already out, so we hope to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you and your commission for a hard job. I don't know how you pick out the winners.
That's the problem.
You know?
It represents a lot of really beautiful ones. There were a lot of nice houses.
And we really appreciate the work that the residents do in decorating for the holidays.
Thank you so
we
much.
notice it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which are the minutes from the board meeting of November 13th, 2017, and the bill listing for the week of November 13th and November 20th and November 27th for the total amount of $829,192.92. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make that
Trustee,
motion.
Tucker, second trustee Allo.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Silala?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Next item is the second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code, adding a new liquor license classifications and regulations for convenience stores. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Currently, Village Municipal Code does not allow the sale of alcoholic liquor at any place of business, including gas stations that are used for the sale of gasoline, diesel, or other automotive fuels. The village received a request to allow the issuance of a liquor licenses to gas stations, convenience stores larger than 7,000 square feet, where not more than 20% of the gross floor area of the convenience store displays alcoholic beverages. At this time, the village believes it is to be in the best interest of its residents and taxpayers to amend the village municipal code to create a new class of liquor license, Class D1, and grant this request. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the first, second, and final reading? Trustee Case?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Cielo, second. Okay. Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker.
Yes, I'd like to amend it.
Okay.
I'd like to change it to an H1 instead of a D1.
Okay. Reason?
Reason is that a D1, they can serve hard liquor, and H1, they can serve beer and wine only. And it's
Okay.
still the same
All right.
clarification. And most of our convenience stores in here do have the ability to sell beer and wine only. They are not allowed to sell hard liquor, and that would be staying in line of what the convenience stores are doing right now.
Well, to make any changes, Trustee Tucker, we would need a motion to make that change, and we need a second, and then we could have discussion on the change.
Okay, I'd like to make that motion then.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, which Trustee Wagner. Okay. Now, any questions or comments? So what this would do, it would eliminate the hard liquor is the question, and just beer and wine. So, Trustee L.
Are there any entities here, any owners here of any entities that this affects directly, their businesses? I'd be curious to know
Well,
what that
that's
would be
Bucky.
like. I'd like
What,
to-
financially, or?
I'd like to know how it affects their sales. So if they are a gas station or proposed gas station, would it affect their sales revenue? And then if it's not Buc-ee's, for example, if it was a Lighthouse or somebody else, don't even scratch that. If it was an existing liquor store, do they see this as an adverse, liquor sales, hard liquor sales, adversely affecting their sales? So I'd like to know those two things.
Well,
I understand someone is here that this directly affects.
if you want to address that, if you're prepared, or please state your name. You represent Buc-ee's, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah, can you sign in? Is there a pen there?
Yes, there is. I'm Richard McMahon. I represent Buchanan Energy, or we do business as Buc-ee's.
And my question then would be, out of your stores locally around DuPage County, do you have an idea what the sales are generated from the sale of alcoholic liquors, not including beer and wine? So do you have it separated out for harder liqueurs or liquors, spirits?
You mean the mix among the alcohol beverages?
Yeah. So if
I
a
don't-
lot of places, they separate alcohol out by beer and wine on the one hand, and then non-beer and wine on the other hand. Do you guys do any kind of separation like that?
If we drill down into our financials, it'd be available. I don't know it off the top of my head. We wanted to have this store mirror what we have in Glendale Heights on North Avenue and Main. and to mirror the offer in the store that's currently being built in DuPage County, unincorporated DuPage County, on North Avenue and Swift. And in those two stores, which are on North Avenue, the offer, we'd like to keep it consistent, where it's beer, wine, and some hard liquor.
Right now, your Glendale Heights store does not sell hard liquor.
I
It
beg to
just
differ
sells
with
beer and
you.
wine, because I was there. I
I,
had to check it out, and I did not see any hard liquor being sold at your Glendale Heights store, only beer
it's
and
behind
wine.
the counter, ma'am. It's not where people can grab it, it's behind the counter.
Any other questions or comments? So the question here is the motion by trustee Tucker, if we wanted to eliminate the, make the sale just for beer and wine. So, last call for questions.
Hey,
Yes,
I-
trustee Seola.
I'm not following the difference between hard liquor, beer, or wine. It's all liquor. It all has the same effect. I don't understand what the confusion between the three are being sold to the public.
I don't see a purpose to have hard liquor in a store, a convenience store, whether there's a gas station or a convenience store, period, when we do not have it in this, when we have liquor stores that can survive that.
But
There's
beer and
no
wine's
reason-
okay?
There's no reason that we need to have a convenience store sell hard liquor. Beer and wine I can see for the convenience purpose, because that's what our convenience stores do in the village right now. You've already, or the board has already approved them to sell beer and wine in the convenience stores. I don't see if the Buc-ee's is in the same line as a convenience store, that we need to open it up for them to sell hard liquor. We have enough liquor stores in the town that they can, if they need to get the hard liquor, they can get them there.
Well, conversely, you could buy cigarettes anywhere you want to, but that doesn't stop that sale. I don't see the point.
Trustee Allo?
I talked to Cheryl about this over the weekend a little bit, and I did, in deference to her, try to figure out reasons you would support this idea. And the only thing I could really come up with was, there are liquor stores in town that would be affected. So, hard liquor sales, you've got a Ardmore station on Ardmore, you've got Ardmore Station South, or whatever, two, on Ardmore also. The other two liquor stores that I can think of off the top of my head are actually in Lombard and Elmhurst, and we don't care about them since they didn't help us with the bridge on St. Charles Road. And it's not gonna affect stores like Jewel or a grocery type store, because at least not in my mind, from my perspective, because I don't think people jumping into Buc-ee's are gonna avoid Buc-ee's and go all the way to Jewel. I think they'd be going to Jewel anyway, rather than, I don't think there's a playoff there. But they might go to Ardmore Station rather than Buc-ee's to pick up a fifth of gin or a fifth of vodka or whatever cordials people use for the holidays, or what you might have. I agree, there's no real reason based on the alcohol. So Cheryl and I have different reasons for thinking about this, but I do think it's important not to adversely affect other businesses in town. So,
And there is a liquor store on North Avenue, not too far from that area, on the north side of the
Well, if I
street.
may, trustee Allo, I'm a little confused. Our last meeting, you wanted to sell liquor everywhere.
no, what the answer was last time was, we shouldn't be restricting the square foot area. The 7,000 should be taken out of this equation. I still believe that. I don't think the 7,000 should be in here.
So let me bring up another point. So you're willing to lose the redevelopment of the junkyard to the gas station over this issue on the liquor license?
No, I'm not. I'm willing to have this conversation to make sure this conversation is had. And I wanted to make sure I supported this amendment for that purpose. So at the very least, we could have this conversation, because I didn't know how everybody else felt. I hadn't talked to everybody else. So I didn't think it was fair not to have this conversation with the full board.
Okay.
And my question is, so you're bringing up in his case, if he does not get hard liquor added to it, and we only restrict him to beer and wine, then he'll pull out of the deal? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't have the final say on that, Steve Buchanan does, but it's a possibility, ma'am. As I said, Glendale Heights, we have it. DuPage County, across from the mosque, they changed their ordinances to allow us to build, the wording of that, to build across from the mosque there. I mean, it's pretty common. People expect with the Buc-ee's sign when they go in there that they'll be able to pick up beer, and if one of them wants something, fifth of whiskey to take home to mix with a drink, that they can pick it up and not have to go someplace else. It's the brand.
Trustee Case.
Well, you might as well just tell Wendy's not to sell hamburgers because Crazy Horse sells them too. I mean, I don't see the difference here. I mean, business is a business. You can't tell a business, oh, there's a business down the street, you can't open it. I don't understand the point of that, so.
Anyone else?
I do have a question. What percentage of your sales in your current operating locations comes from the sale of alcohol?
20%.
20%?
Yes, sir.
And that also is compared to your sale of gasoline?
No, that's compared to the inside the store.
Oh, the inside, okay, I see.
It was compared to the total sales of the gasoline would have to have a beer truck outside.
Okay. That's all I have.
Any more questions? If we open that up for a convenience store, which is what he's going under, what prevents other convenience stores from requesting the same thing? Because now we're opening it up for them to be able to sell hard liquor too.
That's
and
not the
change
question we have right now.
Okay.
Right now is your motion to restrict the sale to beer and wine. Maybe that can come in the next part. So you guys all understand the question. No hard liquor sales at a convenience store. So that's what the modification is. Okay. Let's have a roll call.
Okay. Trustee Salella?
No, if you vote no, you're against the motion. So if you vote yes, you're in favor. Okay.
This is to change this to a H1.
That's right.
So that's what the vote is for. So
Right.
Trustee Salella?
No.
Trustee Aiello?
No.
Trustee Case?
No.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
No. Okay, so that motion fails. And we're back to the original motion that was originally presented for the 7,000 square foot. So, any questions or comments on that?
No, present.
Trustee
No.
Aiello.
Now I'd like to present my motion to strike the 7,000 square foot requirement
Okay.
and eliminate any square footage requirement other than the total square foot area in which the sales can take, or the displays can take place. So the 20% limit would remain. But the 7,000 square foot limit on how big does the store have to be before it could have these sales is what I'm asking to strike. So my motion is to strike the 7,000 square foot limit from this ordinance.
So strike the 7,000 square foot requirements to sell alcohol beverages at a gas station, but continue with the 20% figure on square footage.
Yes, sir.
We have a second on that.
If I understand him right, it's staying the same on here?
No. He's requesting the removal of the 7,000 square foot. Yeah, you would remove having a gross floor area of not less than 7,000 feet above grade, of 7,000 above grade square feet. Okay, so he wants that section removed.
Oh. It's not too big. Just that one small ones.
So now we have a request for a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, no second. So that failed because no second. And we're back to the original motion to allow the sale with 7,000 square foot requirement and only 20%, including the cooler space, has to be there. Any questions or comments on that? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote. So a yes vote would be to go ahead with this ordinance as written.
Trustee Tucker?
No.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. So the motion passes. So, and with that, we'll move on to the next item.
Thank you, President. Thank you, members of the
Okay.
board.
Thank you. Well, that was fun. All right, we'll move on to item number 8. Second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, updating the Villa Park Municipal Code related to the manager's purchasing authority and the contract amount for which bids are required by the Illinois Municipal Code. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Resolutions adopted in 2014 and in January of 2017, the President and Board adopted purchasing policies and procedures which set forth the village manager's authority to approve purchase of equipment, material, and supplies necessary for the village in amounts up to and including $20,000. However, the manager's purchasing authority as approved by these corporate authorities was never codified in the Villa Park Municipal Code. This ordinance amends the village code to reflect the manager's purchasing authority. Additionally, Public Act 100-0338, effective August 5th, 2017, amends Section 8-7-1 of the Illinois Municipal Code, increasing the amount of a public improvement or work where a bidding process and award to the lowest responsible bidder is required before entering into a contract from $20,000 to $25,000. Staff desires to amend the Villa Park Municipal Code to properly reflect these changes. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the second and final reading? Trustee Yellow. So moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Wagner. Any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Okay, item 9, second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, clarifying the village's chronic nuisance property definition and providing for affirmative defense as provided in the Illinois complied statute. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Section 1-2-1.5 of the Illinois Municipal Code, also 65 ILCS 5-1-2-1.5, provides that a municipality may not enforce an ordinance that penalizes tenants or landlords based on certain reports or requests for assistance from police or other emergency service providers. Rental properties account for a disproportionate share of the nuisance conditions and other problems affecting public health, safety, and welfare, and impose disproportionate costs on the village. The proposed ordinance limits chronic nuisance properties to rental residential properties. The ordinance also amends Chapter 15 to add the affirmative defenses that were added by the Illinois Municipal Code after the adoption of the village's chronic nuisance ordinance. The intent is not to punish a victim of such a crime or cause such a crime not to be reported. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the second and final reading? I need a motion. Trustee Yellow.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that
Wagner?
motion.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
Yes, I'd like to make an amendment on this one also.
Okay.
I'd like to amend it that it says chronic nuisance property and rental residency properties.
Run that by me again, please.
Okay, right now it states that it lists as chronic nuisance properties. We're asking for rental residency properties to be added in here or removed. So basically, if we change this to nuisance thing, anyone that has property that has more than 2 or more 2 or more events, any home that has 2 or more events will not be in effect for this code. If I'm understanding this correctly. So what I would like it to do is just add rental residency property to what property's already here.
Well, it is for rental residential properties.
Correct. So what happens in a case that the police department has 3 or more occurrences at a home?
That ordinance will be coming to you shortly.
Okay,
It's
so
in
there's
the-
going to be
it's in the
another
works.
ordinance?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, we're still reviewing that one.
okay,
So
so
that's
this is
coming.
just to make a correction for the rental
Yes.
properties, home and other properties. There's going to be another, or another thing being
Yes.
worked on right now?
Yes.
Okay,
I got a rough draft from the attorney last week.
so we will be working on something for homes and properties that aren't rental?
Yes.
Okay. Then I withdraw it.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 10, second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, levying taxes for the fiscal year of the Village of Villa Park, commencing on the first day of May 2017 and ending on the 30th day of April 2018. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
think you already read this.
Yes, I have. The 2017 tax levy process is well underway. The Library Board approved their levy on October 25th, 2017. The Village Board adopted a resolution estimating the tax levy on November 6, 2017. A notice was published the week of November 20th, 2017, and a public hearing will be held this evening prior to the regular board meeting. This ordinance includes a village levy of $8,502,776, which can later be abated to $7,219,698, which is approximately a 2.8% increase. A library levy of $2,527,533, which represents an approximate 22.7% increase due to the referendum-approved building bonds, for a total levy of approximately $11,030,310. This will later be abated for a final levy of $9,747,231, which represents approximately 7.3% increase. The majority of the levy is subject to a 2.1% tax cap plus new growth. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the second and final reading? Trustee Ciela? Second?
I'll second.
Trustee Case? Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Item 11, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an agreement between the Village of Villa Park, Illinois, and the State of Illinois Department of Transportation for the resurfacing of a portion of North Avenue and the appropriation of funds for the village's share of the project cost in the amount of $29,900. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Illinois Department of Transportation, also known as IDOT, will be resurfacing Illinois Route 64, which is North Avenue, from Villa Avenue to the DuPage-Cook County line in 2018. Staff wishes to include the resurfacing of approximately 175 feet of North Villa Avenue south of North Avenue with this project. The proposed work would be bid and overseen by IDOT. However, the village would be responsible for the cost of the work. IDOT has prepared a cost estimate and agreement with the village's share being $29,900. Funds for this work would be taken from account number 60-502-10-299 in the Street Improvement Fund, non-referendum. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the resolution?
I'd like to make that motion.
Trustee Wagner?
I'll second.
Trustee Case? Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
Yes, I'd like to know how far 175 feet goes south. So where's it going to? How far south is it actually going?
Not far. Probably just past those commercial
Well,
buildings.
if you go down there and look, The northern limits of our, last time we resurfaced North Villa Avenue, and the southern limits of when they did North Avenue, there's a 175-foot gap which wasn't picked up by either project. So that's what we're trying to do, is pick up that gap that didn't get done last time.
So how far does it go? Is my question, does it go past the Napa? Is that where?
Well, there's an
it
actual
goes?
joint there. You could, I don't know exactly where the joint is, but you can see where the pavement changes from old to new. That's exactly where it is.
So joining the two together is what you're saying, where the joint is on
Yeah, there's
Villa?
Yeah. There's a joint, where south of the joint, it's newer pavement, north of the joint, you can tell that the pavement's in much poorer condition. So we're just trying to rectify that little piece, because we're not going to be doing our portion of South Villa for at least 5 years. And that 175-foot stretch is probably not going to last another 5 years.
My understanding, there's no guarantee that the state will be doing that project on North Avenue based on if there's any funds appropriated for it. That's the way I sort of read the notice, so.
It could be delayed,
It
yes.
could be delayed, and this would be in our next fiscal year budget.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? May never happen, so.
Well, if it's not done in 5 years, then we'll pick it up in our next project.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolton?
Yes. Item number 12, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving amended purchasing policies and procedures. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. In order to ensure that our policies match our village code, staff recommends that we update our purchasing policy to align with the changes to Illinois Municipal Code as a result of Public Act 100-0338, which increases the amount of a public improvement or work where a bidding process and award to the lowest responsible bidder is required before entering into a contract from $20,000 to $25,000. In addition, we are removing references to April 30th as the last day of our fiscal year. We are changing our fiscal year from April 30th to December 31st starting in 2018. This is a housekeeping change to clean up the purchasing policy. No substantive changes are being made. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call vote. Wait, well, we need one. Let me just go right to the
I'll make
vote.
the motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, okay. Now, any questions or comments? Yeah. Roll call.
Trustee Wagner? Wagner.
Yes.
Excuse me. Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
President Bolton?
Yes. Item number 13, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing final change order number 1 to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and J.A. Johnson Paving Company for the 2017 pavement patching program, which is in addition of $15,753.30. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village has a contract with J.A. Johnson Paving Company of Arlington Heights, Illinois, for the 2017 pavement patching program. Proposed final change order number 1 includes the final balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field. The net amount of this proposed final change order number 1 is an addition of $15,753.30 for an adjusted final contract amount of $185,298.30. Funds for this additional work would be paid out of the Street Improvement Fund, non-referendum funding, account number 60-502-02-299. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Cielo, second? Trustee
Second
Wagner?
motion.
Any questions or comments?
One question.
Yes.
Vetus. How much more were the other bids for this? Were these guys still lower than the other bids we received from Johnson, from the other contractors for the
Yes,
street
they
paving?
were a little better. It was all at the same unit price.
No, what I'm asking though is, with the extra they were probably still lower than some of the other bids we received?
Well, the other bids would have gone up accordingly because of the higher quantities. We used the same unit prices from the original contract. So, yes, they would have still been lower because the other contract quantities would have increased as well.
Anyone else? Trustee Tucker?
What was the additional patching that added onto the original contract? I take it there was an additional added to this. What was that additional?
Well, when we awarded the contract, we said we would be looking for additional areas to add to try and get closer to the $200,000 amount that was budgeted. I believe the additional patches were on areas of Harvard Avenue and I believe Washington, which there were some pavement failures on Washington that we had to take care of.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Wolf?
Yes. Item 14, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing amendment to the engineering service agreement between the Village of Villa Park and RJN Group Design Incorporated for the design of the Astor Myrtle Improvement Project in the amount not to exceed $47,350. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village proposes to initiate design reconstruction for Euclid Avenue from Kenilworth Avenue to Central Boulevard and Park Boulevard to Highland Avenue. Staff proposes using RJN Group, Inc. for Phase 2 design engineering services and to add this work to the existing design contract for the Astor and Myrtle Improvement Project. The proposal for design services establishes the scope of services for Phase 2 design engineering at a cost not to exceed $47,350 to be taken from account number 60-502-03-292 in the Street Improvement Fund bond referendum. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Yellow?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Trustee Case?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker?
Yes. So if my understanding is the actual total we'll be paying them is $245,900. Is that correct? And the addition, would it be cost efficient for us to do it that way instead of hiring someone else? Because you said they already started it?
Are you referring to the Myrtle contract?
No, according to the thing, Astor and Murder has already been almost completed. So we're adding on, if I'm reading this right, you're adding on the Euclid part to what's already been planned?
The additional design cost for adding Euclid is $47,350.
Correct, but if you add it on to what's already gone to us, we've already approved for Astor and Myrtle, and it ends up being a sum of,
Correct, because those were two separate projects originally. What happened was Astor Court and Myrtle was originally budgeted last year, and Euclid wasn't going to be for another 2 years. Because of the loan process taking longer and, us not having the funding in place for the combined sewer separation, it took longer to get Astor Court plans ready. And we still have to wait until next year for the loan. So what we thought we would do is take advantage of that time, because Euclid is contiguous to the other two projects and it's a bond referendum funded project. We would move that project up, combine the three, and build them all at the same time. So that's what we're asking, is to add a contract to design this street as part of the contract plans for Astor Court and Myrtle.
same thing as Central Boulevard?
Central's done.
That was done, but that was part of
Right, Central was designed, but it was bid separately.
With the bid with the Astor and Myrtle, was that separately?
So Central was bid separately because that one was ready to go and Astor Court and Myrtle was not.
Okay, so it was bid separately, and then Euclid's going to be added on to this, or we have three actual bids?
Well, we're going to add it to Astor Court and Myrtle, but we do have provisions in there that if Astor Court and Myrtle is still not ready for loan funding, that we could bid it separately if we had to, but that's not our current plan. Our current plan is to combine them and bid them as one.
So you're, if I'm understanding you correctly, you want to put the bid in for Astor, Myrtle, and Euclid together?
That's
what
correct.
you're doing. But if Astor and Myrtle do not, then we'll put a bid in for Euclid on its own?
Yes,
Okay.
but only if we have to.
Yep. This would be enough disruption in that area if we did it in one rather than two.
Yes, it would make
phases.
sense to do it all.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Wolfus?
Yes. Item 15, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing an engineering service agreement between the Village of Villa Park and Trans-System Corporation of South Michigan Avenue for the South Michigan Avenue Improvement Project, Madison to Jackson, in the amount not to exceed $140,754.93. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village has awarded a contract for construction of the South Michigan Avenue Improvement Project from Madison to Jackson. Trans-Systems Corporation has submitted a proposal to provide Phase 3 construction engineering services for the project at a cost not to exceed $140,754.93. Proposed funding for this project includes Street Improvement Fund, referendum, and non-referendum. Account number 60-50203-292 and 60-502-10-292, and Storm Water Fund account number 68-502-10-292. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Cielo? Second, Trustee Wagner. Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker.
Yes, is this, I saw the revision was August 6th of 2009. Was this involved in the delay from DuPage County and everything else? Is that why we have documentation for a bid that far back?
The Michigan project was just awarded about a month ago.
Okay, because
So
you have
construction-
documentation that was re-advised August 6th of 2009 that you provided us. So that was my curiosity if it was delayed because of that.
I didn't hear your question, I'm sorry.
According to this, on the odor guide on it, says their last revision was August 6th of 2009.
Where does it reference that?
You know,
The agreement between our village, according to this, the last revision on it was August 6th of 2009.
Lower left-hand corner.
Oh, that's the standard front-end language. So that's probably the last time they had a contract with the village. So they use the same front-end language.
So they just use the same thing over again? Okay.
Use the same language for the standard general conditions generally. Once they're approved by the village attorney, they try and use the same ones.
Because we just approved this, if I'm not mistaken. You just got this finalized recently,
The
correct?
construction we just approved. This is the
recently.
construction oversight.
Anything else, Trustee Tucker?
No.
Don't go away. I noticed too that this Trans-Systems, why all of a sudden are they back in the picture?
Well, what happened is they're doing the Washington Green Infrastructure Phase 3, which is going to carry over into the spring. So they're going to be right there in the area. So the thought was have them wrap up that project and then they can slide over and provide Phase 3 for Michigan, which is a few blocks away. And then if both projects are going at the same time, while one's winding down, the other one's winding up, they can cover both projects.
Is there cost savings?
Well, we hope so. The proposal did come in under our expected budget,
Okay.
so it seems that way.
Because I saw the name and I said, well, I haven't seen that name in a long time, so. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Salala?
Yes.
President Wolfus?
Yes. Item 16, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, urging the governor to veto Senate Bill 1451. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. While the village supports the establishment of reliable wireless services in our communities and the advancement of technology in the telecommunications industry, Senate Bill, also known as SB 1451, establishes the Small Wireless Facilities Deployment Act and severely limits municipal authority to regulate, cite, or charge permit fees for wireless facilities. Additionally, SB 1451 permits a private business entity to use public right-of-way at a rate far below market value and permits wireless providers to locate telecommunications equipment without regard to the village's existing regulations as to number, co-location, separation, and clearance requirements. The Illinois General Assembly recently approved SB 1451. Village of Villa Park wishes to urge the governor to veto the legislation. If vetoed, the village, in conjunction with the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, is committed to collaboratively developing reasonable regulations that ensure reliable wireless services while preserving the rights of the village, property owners, and citizens. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'll have to make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Tucker? Any questions or comments? Yes.
I guess I'm wondering, where were our lobbyists when this happened? Where were our IML lobbyists and DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference?
Well, I'll
lobbyists?
start off, and your manager can finish it.
Okay.
They were there, and they were
Okay.
doing a lot of discussion. They thought a number of times there was a deal made that the municipalities could live with, and then everything, as you know, down in Springfield can change, because one guy's lobbyist is maybe a little better than another one. So they've been going back and forth, and I think the last night, before this finally passed, I thought they had a deal made that was fair, and then all of a sudden things changed. And it just souped right through. Anything else?
No, Your Honor. You
So-
well.
So we have been working, and now they just want to encourage the governor to veto it so we can go back to the bargaining table, and maybe we can get the cell companies to come up with a better deal for the municipalities. And I think almost every municipality in DuPage Mayors and Managers is in agreement with this resolution. That's why they're asking us to put it on ours, and we can then send this down to the governor, and he'll see all the towns and villages are opposed to this, and hopefully that'll help. Okay?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Silala?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolton?
Yes. Item 17, public comments on non-agenda items. Kornecki, do we have anyone?
Yes, we have a couple.
Okay.
people. Well, first is John Tomaszewski.
All right.
Speak about development.
Hi, I'm John Tomaszewski, 580 East Harrison. I've been here a number of times before at the meetings. I've lived on a property that has a lot of flooding, and there's a new development just east of my property. I've applied for the Freedom of Information Act with the village, and the village has been very transparent with disclosing all of the current permits and the current plans in progress. Currently, right now, with the property next to me, there's a contingent permit for the water and drain off and the whole plan for how the stormwater is going to be funneled away from the home. And to my understanding, as of last Tuesday, I came into the village, met with the civil engineers, and they went over that the permit was not approved, and that they were still in discussions with the contractor. I actually came in a time prior to that to review the plans that were preliminary. They were fairly close to being complete with this last time I came here, and I was very satisfied with how the progress was going along. Actually, with the plans that I seen this past Tuesday, they look extremely good, except for the fact that they already started work with the actual driveway, and the pitch on the driveway that were in the plans was supposed to be level such that the water would flow towards the street or on both sides of the driveway. Well, the end result of the driveway being poured is approximately 7 inches pitched towards my house, as well as the whole front yard you will see in the current plans, and the way they had the plans, is pitching towards my house. And the end result, if you look at the total volume, I have nearly 3/4, if not more, all pitching towards my yard. Now, my biggest concern here is that the contractor's proceeding ahead with unapproved plans that are irreversible, I will almost bet this will not get reversed. There will be some special clause, oh, this costs too much money, there's going to be some kicking and screaming, and I am extremely concerned about them proceeding ahead and making other changes and laying down stuff that cannot be reversed. And all I express right now is, and I've sent an email to everyone here with pictures, as well as damage to my property. The writing along my property line ripping up. I have an existing water 4-inch drainage system. That got messed up. No disregard, I filed a police report. It's officially filed. And all I respect right now is that work is done that is permitted and approved, and especially irreversible work. That's all I have to say, and I'm here to answer any questions from anyone here. Trustee Salò actually called me. I greatly appreciate it. He asked a number of questions to make sure that everything was being satisfied. And Vitas and the civil engineering team were extremely prompt to get right back to me and set up a meeting on the following Tuesday. And I greatly appreciate everything the village is doing for me, but I am very concerned about this contractor just plowing ahead and doing what's cheapest and whatever he feels he wants to do. That's about it.
We understand your concerns, and we're aware of them, and we're aware of some issues, and we're working through them. But there's nothing I can really say right now. Just keep working with our staff and with the manager, and we're aware of your concerns. So are we. We have concerns too.
Okay.
So.
You know, I've been up here
Yep.
before this even started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Bill Conroy wants to talk about the pool.
Thank you. I'm Bill Conroy. I live at 1011 South Rand. And I just wanted to speak briefly about last month's meeting regarding the closing of Lufkin Pool. At that time, it was decided by the board not to spend the $25,000 for a complete evaluation of all of the workings of Lufkin Pool. In addition, they voted down spending the money of $88,000 for the new liner. While I am not convinced that ultimately closing the pool would be the right decision, I feel the board acted in haste, and $25,000 to get an accurate and complete evaluation of all of the workings of Lufkin Pool, I thought was very reasonable. In addition, we voted to close the pool without any plan. Obviously, the closing of that pool is going to affect a lot of the residents on the south end of town, but those of us who have property to back up to that pool, I think will be affected even more. So without a plan as to what you're going to do going forward, as far as I can tell, that's just going to be a hole in the ground that's collecting swill water. So I'm asking you, what is the plan for Lufkin Pool moving forward? So that's really the purpose of my coming up here.
Would you like me to? Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, on the last board meeting or so, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was a little more than $25,000. I think there were two different measures that evening on the agenda. One was for the replacement of the Lufkin Pool liner, and the item above that was for Williams Architects for $25,000 or so. But that was not only an assessment, but that was taking the village through actually the bidding and repair of the pool, which was estimated to be at about $430,000 or so, including, if I'm not mistaken, the liner. For moving forward, the plan, obviously, I might be speaking out of turn, but We cannot let the pool sit idle due to possible vandalism, decay, things of that nature. So staff has sought quotes for demolition of Lufkin Pool and the buildings and returning it to a green space using either sod or seed. So when you looked at that area, even the drive would be gone behind the sign, so it would be all grass. Moving forward, there is some discussions planned about a rec center and/or pool and/or rec center near at CRB or the Lions Field.
Okay.
Which was, it'd be more central. So if children would like to come to that particular area, you could use the Illinois Prairie Path, the Great Western, things of that nature. Would you like me to, anything else,
No,
Sharon?
that's, so there is a plan, so, and, yeah. So hopefully we can get that into some green area, so we won't have any issues with a abandoned property.
Well, you know, if that's what they're going to do with it, I would be okay with
Yeah,
that.
that's the plan, tentatively. We haven't voted on it yet, but like I said, we're getting estimates on it. So
Okay. All right, I appreciate it.
we hope to have that done as soon as possible, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. We'll move down now to the clerk's report.
And no report tonight.
Thank you. Trustees report, we'll start with trustee Cielo.
I just wanted to thank the Chamber of Commerce for a job well done on their Christmas tree lighting this past Friday evening. It was well received, and I think the residents really enjoyed it, and I continue to see it next year, in years to follow. Thank you.
Trustee Case?
I'd like to, I know it's probably a little late, but I had a discussion with Manager Keener earlier about our landscapers blowing leaves into the street. I've had an incident with one landscaper. It's been going on for 4 years with them. The police have been there twice, and he still blows the leaves in the street. But I'd like to make a tougher ordinance maybe next year, or do something. Either hurt their pocketbook or kick them out of town. Just
We've got the ordinance, you know, it's
Yeah.
just enforcement, right? As I understand it?
Yes,
You know,
sir.
issue tickets,
I mean, it's pretty obvious when you drive down the street and
Oh,
you see
yeah.
the leaves in the street.
you
And,
see it all the time.
yeah, I'll be more than glad to go there and put something on their door. I don't have a problem.
Well, I think they have to catch them in the act, if I have to guess.
It'd be much easier,
Yeah.
yes.
That
Oh.
way. So, let's say if some resident's seeing some guy blowing leaves on the street, who do they call?
They can, Your Honor, they can call Community Development, Economic Development, or even the Police Department, and a squad would be dispatched and code enforcement would take over.
Would the police department issue a ticket at that time, or does it get referred to community development?
That's a very good question, Your Honor.
Because I believe that the police department has authority to issue code violation tickets.
Yes, they do.
So I think that might not be a bad idea. Okay. Anything else?
Oh, I've said enough.
Trustee Allen.
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Tucker.
I'd also like to thank the beautiful job the community development did on the Christmas trees, and it was gorgeous. They did a great job on that, as always. I do have a question. Is our road projects done for 2017?
Probably pretty close. Yeah, Washington.
Paving is done. They paved the Park Boulevard parking spaces today. There's a little bit of restoration to do on Washington, and they buttoned that up for the winter. And all the other projects are not going to start up till the spring. So for all practical purposes, we are finished.
And what about the ditches on Washington? Those gravel areas?
Yeah, those are going to backfill with material. At least that's their plan.
What kind of material?
It's a modified soil. It's part of the green infrastructure project, so it's a special mix.
Yeah, that'll be
I
done
don't know the secret mix. But
Done soon or what?
no, they're planning on doing it this week, actually,
Oh,
still.
okay. Very good.
So
we'll see, but that's what they told us.
Okay.
So all the barricades and everything on what, will be
We told them we
gone?
want it buttoned up and safe for the winter. So that's
Okay.
what
Grant,
we're instructed.
Grant is done?
Yes, Grant.
Grant is done for the time being, correct, or is
Yes.
it totally done? Okay.
Anything else?
No? Well, I did have one question on what's going on with Summit, on the house on Summit in Highland. I did
Oh, the
have
one
some
with the
concern.
demolition permit? 329? I think
Is that
they
what's
have a
going on?
demolition permit. The old villa there? that
No,
you're
it's
referring-
Summit and Highland, the house across from the church on the corner of Summit and Highland Avenue.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
moving, northeast corner? Is that moving forward? Because we've got a lot of complaints from the neighbors by there on what's going on.
Yes, if you're referring to 329 South Summit, a demolition permit has been acquired by the owners. In fact, I think this week or last week, the water was terminated, et cetera. So they're ready to demolish it. It's in the homes of the owners.
We just got word late this afternoon that they intend on starting by the end of the week.
Okay, I just wondered, because the neighbors wanted to know what was going on with that, if it was going to get done before the winter or what was happening. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, President Boltis. I just had a couple things. I likewise wanted to congratulate the Chamber of Commerce, Public Works, and Park and Rec Department on a great partnership in putting together Joyful Traditions. It was really wonderful. We had really great weather, and there were a lot of people there, and I want to thank all the vendors who provided food to people. And I would just encourage people, if you want to spend a nice leisurely evening, to walk from Harbor to Villa, and just to read what people have put on their, a lot of the trees are dedicated in memorial of people, of family members who have been lost, and some nice decorating jobs. So just it's kind of a nice walk just to look and see what people are, who they're honoring or who they're recognizing. I think it's really, really nice. And I also want to congratulate the library on their support of Small Business Saturday. This was a really great effort. I encourage people to visit businesses in town. I participated, and I actually went to a business I've never been in before, so it was a great exercise and a great event. So thanks to the library for sponsoring that. And I just want to kind of follow up. Trustee Case had asked us a few meetings ago how we can develop maybe a special fund or look for special funding for moving towards the goal of building a new rec center. Can we designate money we would spend to the operations of the pool towards putting that aside? I'd like to see maybe a more developed plan or how we can get to that goal. I think everybody on the board would like to see that as well. So I know that's kind of a large task, but I'd like to see residents ask us, when is it going to happen? And it would be good to say, these are the plans we're making to move forward. And that's all I have.
I think the manager has heard both of you guys, so unless you want something you want to add to that or comment? You don't have to.
No. What do you like here?
Go ahead. Chomping at the bit. There's been ongoing discussions for some time on how to fund a pool/parks and recreation center at Lions Field, or a park and recreation center and/or pool. It all depends on which way you look at it, because it's my belief that there's some folks in the community would like a central pool. There's some folks in the community that really would like a recreation center where you can lift weights, that has a running track, that has childcare, things of that nature. So it all depends on which way you look at it. And over the past many months, there's been plenty of discussion about constructing either one of those items at the Lions Field and demolishing the CRB building, the Community Recreations building.
And so the varying cost for that could range from outside pool, competitive pool, maybe a $6 million plus or minus, all the way up to a pool and a recreation center, plus minus probably $22.5 million. It would take a very long time to put money away on an annual basis, like we do our fire fund. And we've talked about this on many occasions. We put, I think, $125,000 a year for a new fire truck away. It'd take us a long time to put that type of money away for a $6 million pool or a $22.5 million complex. So it's going to have to involve more than creating a reserve fund and then putting in $125,000 a year. It's more than likely going to take some decisions on which one we want as a community, or both. Bonding, TIF funds, plenty of input from citizens, and to be able to select which way we want to go. But whatever we do, it's going to change Villa Park forever, especially if and when we move forward with the demolition of Lovekin. And quite frankly, this community has two pools, of which normally a community this size does not have two pools. It usually has one. But as most people, I'm sure, are aware, that Lovekin Pool was donated by a homeowners association in that part of town, thus two pools. So in the next few months, there'll be, I'm sure, with the board's permission, plenty of communication about those two particular projects, items, if you will, and moving forward one way or another, Your Honor.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
For that, we'll move on down to the President's report. I have a couple things today. I received an email last week, and another one today. Some good news. It says here, certificate of recognition for budget presentation was presented to Villa Park Finance Director Kevin Wetzel. And let me give you a little bit of history of what this is. It's a Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Reward for 2017. And this is the 25th consecutive year that Villa Park has received this recognition. I'll give you a little sampling here. There was only 133 government bodies that received this reward, and there's over 7,000 active municipalities that could. So additionally, the village annually receives the GFOA's Audit Award, where only 110 Illinois governments won both awards this past year. So it's quite an accomplishment by our finance department and our finance director, and I thank you for that. I believe there's going to be an award presentation at one of our board meetings by the association somewhere along the line shortly. So I look forward to that, and congratulations to you and your department, Kevin, for that. So the other thing I wanted to bring up and echo what the board member said about the joyful traditions this past weekend. Like all of you, I get a lot of invites to go to different, lunches and dinners celebrating the holiday parties, not just with my family and friends that we know, but different with county members and different organizations that the village belongs to. But I will say that the Joyful Traditions was just a wonderful event this last weekend. I couldn't believe, the weather was perfect, and the number of people out there, and to see the kids respond when Santa got off that fire truck was just amazing. And Mrs. Santa was there too, and she got just as many hugs as Santa did. So it was, yes, and it was just wonderful. The weather, like I said, the weather was perfect. We've had rain in the past, we've had ice storms, but it was a wonderful night, and I think we had the largest crowd we ever had for Joyful Traditions. And thank you to the chamber and to the sponsors who paid for that. far as I'm concerned, that was a Christmas gift to the village of Villa Park by the Chamber of Commerce and the work of the Parks Department. So thank you all very much for that. So with that, we'll move to the manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have a couple of items. I just wanted to call everyone's attention to the Great Western Trail, where Director Fiola has been working on a pet project for quite some time, and I'm sure she would like to come to the podium this evening, Your Honor.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
maybe tell us a little bit about the arch and what she's been working on.
I think that's been years in the works, if I remember right. At least 2, if I got.
Actually, it goes back from the day that I started in Villa Park when I couldn't find the Great Western Trail. So when I found out where it actually was, I was shocked that it looked like a little alley in between businesses. So I thought, this is such a cool, benefit to the community that we should really celebrate it. And with the support of Manager Keener and working together with Eagle Scouts and through our budget process, we're able to pull together the funds to design and build not only an arch, but some benches and garbage cans and stamped concrete. So you can really clearly identify the entrance to this 12-mile path that then connects to the Prairie Path. So spring we'll have our dedication process along with the stuff going on the mural of the wall, and our butterfly garden should be in bloom. So that'll be a really great area to celebrate. So I'm proud to be working for Villa Park and excited about this new arch. So thank you.
It looks really good. I have to tell you, I was talking to a resident from a neighboring community to the east today, and he said, the Great Western Trail starts here in our community, not ours, his. And I says, whoa, time out,
No, it doesn't.
It starts right over there on Villa Avenue. If you want to see it, I told him, go see the arch we just put up over there. So you got to straighten those people to the east out. So they want to claim everything. So, okay, anything else?
One more item, Your Honor, and I too wanted to thank the Chamber and Greg Director Gola's staff for assisting with the putting out the trees on the Prairie Path. Looks very nice. I know it's a lot of work, and be a lot of work taking them down and disposing them, but it's well worth it, Your Honor, Board. So thank you.
Residents appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. We will move on to the next item, executive session. A is 5 ILCS 120/2 C1 personnel matters. C2 collective bargaining matters. C5 purchase and lease of property. C6 sale and lease of property. C11 pending litigation, and C21 discussion of closed session minutes. Do we have a motion for executive session?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Wagner, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Fiala? All in favor, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
President Bolton?
Yes. With that, we'll move into executive session. We will not be coming back. Just for a reminder, our next board meeting is on next Monday, December 11th at 8 p.m. We'll see you later.